Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yad, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharach, Wadash, the honors, the apostles, and the elders, great millstone of roll well, and peace and blessing salutations to the hopefully elected the nation of Israel, which is Yashar Allah in the ancient Hebrew. Alright, we know it's all about Israel, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, through the scriptures. But I was reading Acts today, and I noticed this heavy instance, which, really stood out, to prove that even more, and not just Israel as in Judah, or Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the southern kingdom, the whole nation, it's all about Israel, this is, and there's actually people that still don't know that, or still haven't came across people teaching that, but you're about to, or you have, just now, This is Acts chapter 26, verse 1, just so you can get the context of what's going on, Apostle Paul was basically, taken prisoner to an extent, or he was bound, he was not necessarily bound in like a jail cell or tied up or anything, but he was taken to speak with the king, because the Jews wanted to put him to death. This is Acts chapter 26, verse 1. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself, I think myself happy, King Agrippa, because I shall answer for myself this day before thee touching all the things whereof I am accused of the Jews. Especially because I know thee to be expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews. Wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently. My manner of life from my youth, which was at the first among mine own nation at Jerusalem, know all the Jews, which knew me from the beginning, if they would testify that after the most straightest sect of our religion I lived a Pharisee. And now I stand and am judged for the hope of the promise of Yahweh unto our fathers. Unto our fathers. He's talking about him, the Jews and his fathers, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Really Jacob, and then going into Moses and the Israelites that came out of Egypt. Israel was the chosen nation. That's all throughout the Bible. Verse 7. Unto which promise our 12 tribes, instantly serving Yahweh day and night, hope to come, for which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I am accused of the Jews. Right there. Because it's all about the Israelites. Yahweh Shai said that he's not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Which, in fact, let me get that since I said it. This is Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The lost sheep. So before we knew that we were Israelites, which the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those who because what it makes you an Israelite is descending from Jacob, through your patrilineal, Now, before we knew we were Israelites, we were following all these different heathen customs, which meant what? That we were Gentiles, That we were, keeping these heathenistic customs and really being likened on the heathens, Because what separates us from these other nations is the law, the commandments that we were given, the promises, the covenants, That's what separates us from everybody else. So if we're not, following the law to the best of our ability, if we're being lawless, if we're not obeying Yahweh Shai and the scriptures and applying the scriptures to our life, then how are we any different from the heathen nations? We're not. That's the thing. And according to the Bible, not my emotions, according to the Bible, the new covenant is only for Israel. Hebrews 8, Ezekiel 37, Revelation 7 tells you who's going to be saved, and it only mentions Israelites. Jeremiah 31. All right, which we'll go to Jeremiah 31. Well, actually, Hebrews 8. Let's go to Hebrews 8, because Hebrews 8 is restating what was written in Jeremiah 31. And plus, because Christians like to say, well, that was the Old Testament. The New Testament is about preaching the Old Testament. All right? Apostle Paul constantly talks about how he was proving that Yahushua is the Messiah using the scriptures. Okay, because the New Testament is them teaching the things of old and telling them what prophecies have came to pass and this and that, like the prophecies about the Messiah. Okay? It's not a completely different story. It's just a part 2 of the same movie. All right? It's just a part 2. It's a continuation. All right? New just means refresh. It's a refreshed covenant. All right, if you're on let's say you're on YouTube, like the website, you go on Safari, you go to YouTube, and you press refresh on the top right. Guess what? You're still on YouTube. You just refreshed, and there may be new things that popped up on the page to that extent, but it's still the same web page, man. All right, that's just like the new covenant compared to the old. All right, it's for the same people. It's just a refreshed covenant with, new things, all right? The laws are going to be written in us. We're going to get those new bodies. We're going to be brought back into our land. The Messiah died for us, so we're under grace right now in this transitional period, all right? Because we're not under the new covenant until we enter into the kingdom, all right? But this is Hebrews chapter 8. I'll start at verse 6. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So, where did anybody else get involved in that? Just said the house of Israel, which is the northern kingdom, and the house of Judah, which is the southern. All right, making up total of 12 tribes. That's who the new covenant's for. All right. Verse 9, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. Now, the only reason it said Israel, not Israel and Judah, is because if you read in Ezekiel 37, what happened? They're going to be no longer two nations, right? Southern and northern kingdom are going to be put back together as one nation, okay? They're just going to be known as Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, which proves the law isn't done away with, all right? Right now we're under grace because Yahushua, which is the Messiah, died for our people, the nation of Israel, specifically the elect. So we're under grace, but that's just, a safety net for when you make mistakes, because we do make mistakes. Romans 3:23 tells us that we all sin, all right, because we all do fall short, all right. Proverbs tells us a just man falls 7 times. So we need that grace, all right. We are in a transitional period from the old covenant to the new, all right. So verse 10, For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. And that he saith a new covenant, he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. All right? So it's all about the nation of Israel. Okay? Israel is the Lord's portion, the Lord's inheritance. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 17, verse 17 to 18. For in the division of the nations of the whole earth he set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion, whom being his firstborn he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love doth not forsake him. Alright, so right now, all the tribes are being brought together. Alright, 12,000 from each tribe, which makes up the 144,000 and the 1/3 that Yahweh has decided to have mercy upon. Alright, the 144,000 men and the 1/3 men, women, and children. Alright, they're coming back to the word, and salvation is about to be established for the nation of Israel. Alright, it's already been established, but it's about to come into play. It's about to be manifest. Alright, because right now we're still in hell. We're still on the bottom. Alright, but we're about to be placed on top. Okay? So I believe that's in Daniel, translated from one people to another. Salakia. I believe it. Oh. Salakia. There we go. Salakia. I think there is a scripture that is relatable to this in the book of Daniel, but this is the one I was looking for. Salakia. This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Alright, so right now, the ruler, well, not necessarily an individual, but a whole nation. The nation that is ruling the planet right now is the wicked. Alright, Job 9 and 24. The wicked, Malachi 1 and 4, is Edom. Alright, 2nd Ezra 6, 7, and 9 tells us that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning. Alright, we're about to be set on top, man. We just have to hold on. We just have to keep fighting. We have to keep the faith. We have to keep the sincerity. Keep praying. Keep fasting. Keep doing the work. Keep going out in the highways and byways. Keep pushing up these YouTube videos because the famine of the word is coming. We need to get this word out while we can. All right. Let me end off with this. This is Revelations 3 and 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast. Let no man take thy crown. All right, keep pushing. Keep fighting. All right, keep fighting. Keep the faith. All right, until the end. Not till tomorrow, not till next week, until the end. All right, so with that said, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yad, Allah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, Shai, Waharachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the others who grave most in the rule well, and peace and blessing salutations to the hopefully elect of the nation of Israel, which is Yasher Allah in the ancient Hebrew. All right, also known as the Lashawan Quadash. All right, Lashawan being tongue, which means language, and Quadash being holy. All right, with that said, Shalom.